Again. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the E'Claire Makery Podcast. I'm your host, Claire Goodale, and today I am really excited to have Cozy Nooks Designs as our special guest for the week. She is going to share all about how to kind of manage and run a business while being a mom or being super busy in your life. So go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business.
Yeah, so my name is Rachel Alford. I started Cozy Nooks Designs about 7 years ago when my first son was born. I just felt like I needed a creative outlet after having a child. And so I opened an Etsy shop and sold finished goods for many, many years, which was a lot of fun. And then in 2017, that's when I started designing crochet projects. And then I recently started my blog and my YouTube channel, have started filming a little bit more with some different companies. So that's kind of how Cozy Nooks Designs was born and evolved through the years.
Yeah, that's great. I feel like that's a lot of moms' stories of like, I needed something to kind of be separate from my kids.
Yes.
And be able to cope with that.
Exactly, yes.
So you are a mom. You've got a few kids. What is it like being a mom and running a business? Yeah. I imagine that's pretty hard.
Yeah. So my husband works full time. He works out of the house. So usually it's just me throughout the day. I have a 7-year-old boy, a 5-year-old boy, a 2-year-old girl, and then I'm pregnant with my fourth. She's a girl, and I'm due in September. So that's really fun and exciting. But I'm sure it's not too much different than how it is running your business throughout the day. You know, I give them lunch.
Yeah.
I have to stop and take breaks from crocheting to get them lunch and, spend time with my kids. But I'm sure it's fairly similar to others who don't have kids and still run a crochet business.
Right. Yeah. I think we can all relate to having distractions and.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Who need us.
Yeah.
Beyond just our business.
Yes. Yeah. There's a life outside of the crochet world too.
Which is very easy to forget sometimes.
Yeah.
When all you want to do is work with yarn.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad you're here to share some tips that you learned through running your business for people who are struggling through this, because I think this is something that a lot of people, whether you're busy or have children, it's really easy to kind of get lost in that and feel overwhelmed. With running a business and trying to make that into something and feeling like there's no way that you could possibly do it. And what are some of the tips that you have, or the steps for managing running a business while busy or having children?
Yeah, so I felt like I needed to try to condense it down into 5 tips because I could talk forever on it. But so I have 5 tips I'm going to try to share today. But before I share the first tip, I just wanted to say that social media and the facade that people put up, it's not perfect. So I'm not a perfect mom. I'm not a perfect crochet business owner or a blogger, YouTube. I'm not perfect. We all just try to do the best we can. And I found some things that have made it easier, but don't look at someone else on social media and feel like you can't get there or that they have a perfect life or, there's only so much that's shared on social media.
Oh, yeah. There are so many times where I post something and something's totally happening differently, or I will be struggling emotionally or with something happening in my life, and my husband, will just be like, you gotta just don't post or don't do anything. And it's so easy to get lost in that. Oh man, their stories look so nice. They have all these pretty things, or their photos look so great. But we're all human.
Exactly.
All are struggling through life.
Exactly. Like at the beginning of this year, that's when I started working with Lion Brand, freelance designing for them. And so I had quite a few people like comment and message and like congratulate me, which I truly appreciated. But like behind the scenes, that's when I had morning sickness, very, very sick in my bed, trying to meet the deadlines. I had 2 big Lion Brand deadlines and then 3 big magazine deadlines. And so again, where it's just like, I'm able to post this pretty picture and show like, oh, look at this company I'm working with. But like, it was hard.
Oh, yeah. That's a great point, because I also started working with them and I had so much imposter syndrome. Like, I was like, oh, wow, this is like a dream come true. But behind the scenes, it was, oh, I don't feel like I deserve this. I am like rushing to get this done. I had like magazine and Lion Brand deadlines and was just like, what am I doing? Why did I do this?
Yeah.
What did I get myself into?
Yeah. And I'm truly grateful for all those opportunities, but just realizing, yes, you see the end product of the pretty picture, but the steps behind the scenes, my house wasn't clean for how many days, like the dishes.
My house still isn't clean. Like,
I know. Exactly.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's like a really great way to kind of start talking about this, because I feel like a lot of moms and people who are kind of struggling, they feel like, oh, well, I'm never going to get that look, or I'm never going to have that perception of life that I see that this other person has. And it feels way more intimidating, because you're like, oh, well, I am a mess. How could I have a business, or how could I make my crochet into something? But we've all been there, and we all still kind of are. Yeah, we're all a mess. I'm such a mess. I want to quit doing this about once a week, because I'm like, I can't do this. What am I do?
I feel you.
Okay, so let's go ahead then and launch into some of your tips and gain your knowledge that you have.
So my first tip is very tangible, and I feel like it was my secret sauce of just next level, took so much stress off of me, helped me in so many different ways. And it really doesn't just apply to moms. I was listening to last week's episode with Nitty Natty, and she was saying the same thing when she was working until 4:30 or 5. Anyway, so my first tip is to buy artificial lighting, because for me, when I am crocheting and when I get the bulk of my crochet work done is at night. And I really need to take those progress pictures to be able to include them in my patterns, or to put them up on my Instagram feed, or, those progress photos, I need to take them, but the sun's already set. So these artificial lights, I'm using them right now. They were a game changer for me. So I was able to be more efficient when I needed to take a picture right then at 10 o'clock at night. I can just go over to my artificial lights, snap the picture, and continue working for the next 30 minutes or however long before I fall asleep.
Yeah. I couldn't do anything without my lights, because my apartment, like, it's I think it's only it's 10 in the morning here, and it should have a lot of light, but nope, my apartment is tucked in like this corner where we get virtually zero light, natural light in here. So the rest of my apartment is dark right now, and because there's no extra lighting, and so I have to create it myself. Otherwise, if I didn't have these lights, I couldn't get any videos.
Yes.
Any photos.
Exactly. And that's what, when some people ask me, they're like, okay, well, how do you get your pictures? How are you able to have them clear and bright? Do I need usually people think like, oh, I need to buy a new camera. And I'm like, a good camera is nice, but I always tell people, I'm like, if you have to choose between a good camera and lights, take the lights every single time, because you turn on those lights, take the picture, even with your phone. That's usually what I do the majority of the time, using my phone. And then you put a preset on it and you're good to go. It looks great. You don't have to be dependent on the weather outside or
yes.
Yeah, getting the afternoon sun, or, you don't have to worry about that throughout the day.
Yeah, it's really nice because I know with videos, sometimes I'll be working on something at night and then I'm like, oh, I want to film a little video. And I'm able to have my stuff be really clear. And I've been doing a lot of my videos lately with my phone. Like, I have a nice camera, but when you think of, okay, you could pay either $30 to $60 for photography lights or $700 to $1,000 for a nice camera. If you can't afford that, the lighting is such a much more affordable option to use what you already have. And it is a investment you'll use for many, many years.
Exactly. Yeah. And it just really did help me take so much stress off, where oftentimes I will work at night, get the picture that I need. I will get it all ready for the day tomorrow so that when I post to Instagram or my other social media outlets, I'm not trying to do that while I'm juggling the kids and getting their lunches ready and stuff. Like, I've already had it all situated. I didn't have to worry about the morning light. And if, chaos is happening in the house, I've already got it set because I did it at night. So, yeah, I think, and same with, people who work outside the home, they rush home. They only have this little block of window before the sun goes down. Yeah. And so it's just, these lights were a game changer for me.
Oh, yeah. Same here. I don't think the quality of my stuff could be what it is without them. Because when I look at my pre-lighting videos, I am so embarrassed. I'm just like, how did I think these were good? And I was like, oh, yeah, I used to have to put a poster board that I record on a bed up against a window to try and get some sort of lighting. And I was using a nice camera to do that, but my lighting was still bad, so it didn't work. And you can tell that I did not have those as compared to now.
And it's nice, these lighting, it's consistent always. So on my Instagram feed, it's always the same preset, the same lighting. So it really helps create that cohesive brand look that I'm going for.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you have that, I think you have a cohesive brand nailed on your Instagram feed. And
nice of you to say.
Oh, yeah. I know, I always feel lost with cohesiveness stuff. It's terrible.
Yeah, same.
So what is another tip for trying to get that work done during busy times or as a mom?
Yeah, so this one applies more for moms, but I guess it could be kind of applicable for those that work too. So during nap time, that is when I get a bulk of my crocheting done. That's when every day I'm like, okay, nap time, this is what I've got to do. And I list it off. I set the deadlines and the goals, and then I stick to them. I'm not browsing Instagram or I try to treat it like I'm in an office, that I have these deadlines that I need to meet so that I can be most efficient. So those who work at a job, maybe using their lunchtime or trying to multitask somehow that way, they might be able to do that. And so sometimes when I say this suggestion to people, they're like, well, my kid doesn't nap anymore. And I used to feel that way too, but that's why you need to do quiet time. Quiet time for your older children is so good. It's good for their mind. It's good to have some alone time to instill creativity and be with your own thoughts. And it's a good time for me too to take a break and come back rejuvenated for the rest of the day as well.
Yeah, I think that can apply to like people without kids too, of like having a certain time that you work, like blocking out. Here's this time that I'm going to work. Like moms can do it during nap time or quiet time. other people can be like, okay, this is my like 1 hour.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do that more in my own business life because I can get easily distracted, or I'm like, oh, I just want to do this other thing. I don't actually want to work on this. And like, I do this full time, but I get so distracted all the time.
Right.
Like, especially with social media. If I'm on there and then if I go on there for a reason, I always forget the reason. And then I browse and then I go off of my phone and then realize, wait a second, I had a purpose for that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Having that, I'm trying to work on that set time of, okay, during this time I'm working on this. During this time I do this. And I think that's a great tip to find your time that works for you.
Yeah. And when it's those crunch times when I am trying to, okay, I've only got these 45 minutes left of quiet time. How can I maximize? I will turn my phone on airplane mode so that I don't get like texts or calls, and I warn my husband ahead of time in case he wants to contact me. But I'm like, just so you know, like, I'm not having any distractions right now. I really need to focus on this to accomplish this deadline.
I like that. I need to do that more often. I'll have to tell my husband, hey, remind me to put my phone in airplane mode, because he's been trying to help me be more organized, and I have aspirations of that, but always just disappears.
Yeah, easier said than done.
Exactly. Exactly. So what are some other ways, like we got lighting, setting aside that time? What's another thing that you found has worked for you?
Yeah. So my husband, he is very supportive. He is my biggest cheerleader. And so we have found ways that I'm able to maximize my time more. So like setting aside one weeknight a week where it's like mommy needs to work. It's daddy time, like take over dinner and clean and get the kids ready for bed, that sort of thing. We're setting aside and it's something that the kids expect and they come to know, where it's like, oh, yay, it's fun daddy time, like pancakes for dinner,
Yeah.
and that they come to love. And then I'm able to get some work done that I need to. Another thing that I'm able to do, and not everyone has this available, but just some different ideas. You could swap babysitting with a friend, where it's like, okay, Wednesday, I take your kids from 9 to 12. Friday, you take my kids from 9 to 12, and then you're able to get a big chunk. And same thing, like my kids love to play with other kids. And so it's something that they look forward to. And even when I'm watching someone else's kids, it makes it easier for me because my kids are distracted by those other kids.
Exactly.
So win-win.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's a great tip, because finding someone that can help you just watch my children, please, for this little bit of time.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I love that you have something like, oh yeah, it's having daddy night is like something to look forward to, and it's like, okay, sweet, I'm gonna have this time. They get to have this time. It works for everyone.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it's something my kids really like. Something else that I have found, so I have a gym membership somewhere where they have child watch. And so it's kind of weird now with the whole quarantine, COVID-19. So we've kind of gotten out of routine and schedule. But my son, he goes to elementary school throughout the day. My middle child, the 5-year-old, he goes to preschool 3 times a week. And then my daughter, she thinks her preschool is the gym. Because the gym, we will go there, I'll work out for, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes or whatever. But the child watch hours, you can have a child in child watch for 2 hours. So she will do, like the preschool activities that they have at the gym. So she likes it. It's her school. So the days that my 5-year-old are off preschool, he goes to the gym, child watch as well. So again, that's when I am able to pound out a lot of work at the gym too.
Work the system.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, so the director of the gym, he finally came over and talked to me one time, and he was like, "What you make?" Like, he wasn't upset. He was like, "What you making?" So I was showing him whatever I was making, and he was like, "This is just really good mental break for you as a mom, right? Like, the gym is wellness, health and wellness. This is good mental health for you, I'm sure." And I'm like, I like that. That's good.
I know that my mom, when we were growing up, she wasn't always super consistent with her gym working out, but she would sometimes leave us at the childcare and then would go run errands and use that as like, okay, this is my time to get some things done.
Yeah.
And it was included in the membership. So if you're already paying it, why might as well use what you
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Might as well. Yeah. And like, actually working out for me, I have found that I am more productive during the day too. If I have a schedule, I get way more done than if I just like loosey-goosey, no timeline for the day sort of thing. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm learning I'm that way too. I think a lot of times, like, I will try to have these like tasks or things that I'm like, oh, I need to get this done today. And then I'll try to do it, and I don't set a plan. I'm like, okay, this is my schedule of how I'm going to spend like each hour. And so I've been trying recently to do like blocking my schedule of like, okay, 30 minutes to have like doing little 30-minute breaks to crochet amidst computer work, so I can make progress on new designs, but also get progress on like other deadline things that I have to work on. And having that set schedule works really well for me. So I'm trying to get myself in that habit of like, you can do this, like, go ahead and get this done.
And like, I am by far no expert, especially now in this weird quarantine.
Oh yeah.
It's
I can only imagine how it just like every parent is like, I had a schedule, we had a good thing going, and now what is that schedule?
Yeah, that's what the gym hasn't been open for the last 2 months. My son's been out of school for the last 2 months, preschool as well. So it kind of feels like summer, to be honest.
Right. Oh yeah, and I think that's also like, what are some things that during summertime, like if your kids are on break, what are ways do you still kind of use the same things?
A lot of it I do use the same things, the same. Like, I still do quiet time during the summer. They play out back a lot. Well, so I was asking my 7-year-old, I said, so I have this podcast coming up. I'm going to talk about how to do a crochet business, but also have kids. Like, what do I do as a mom? And my 7-year-old, he was like, I don't know, like, shove us outside and just say play outside. Yeah, I do make you go out back a lot, I guess. It's good for you.
My husband and I, when we've talked about like having kids, and we're like, oh yeah, someday we're just gonna be like, hey, just go play outside, just go for it. My mom used to do that a lot. I think every mom is just like, oh, they can be occupied out there, just go. Just get out of the house.
I'm like, they're like, it's so hot though. I'm like, if you stay out there for 30 minutes, you'll get a popsicle.
I think a lot of my testers, when I was doing my llama sweater design, and they had, when they were taking photos of their kids, they were like, oh yeah, all of them were using bribing to be like, I'll give you chocolate if you take this photo, or I'll give you ice cream, or one of them was like, oh, I'll let you organize my stitch markers because that's what you like to do.
There you go. Now that's like reverse psychology stuff. I like that style.
Oh, and then I was I don't know if you know the Loopy Lamb, but she was telling me that she will always give her kids like 2 options of, okay, you can and she always gives them like something that she knows they won't want to do and then something that she wants them to do.
Yeah.
And then they always choose the one she wants them to do because they're like, oh, I hate that other one. Like
Yeah.
her yarn store, she's like, well, go to the yarn store or you can clean your room. And they're like, oh, I'll clean my room. I'll clean my room.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Using the system of what your kids want.
Exactly. Yeah, make it think it's their idea.
Yeah, exactly. Reverse psychology can work sometimes.
Yeah.
So what is another thing that has helped you?
Yeah, so my fourth tip is to take yourself seriously. So when you are working at home, when it's quiet time, well, maybe not quiet time because the baby will wake up, but when it's like your night of the weekday that you are working, or if it's at night and the kids are asleep, to get sound canceling headphones, or even just like headphones so that you can listen to music or whatever and not be distracted by anything else.
Yeah. Oh, I have been doing that recently because even though I don't have kids, I have noisy neighbors.
Yeah.
There's neighbors.
The dog barking outside, and yeah.
My neighbors play super loud rap music all the time during the day.
You're not about that?
Not about that, surprisingly. And, when you hear the same playlist over and over, you're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
But one thing that I've started doing, I don't know why I haven't done this sooner, but I will just put in my own music and with headphones. And that has helped me so much because I'm able to get the noise that I want.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps me focus so much more.
Right.
Like drowning out the rest of the world and the noises and distractions, it helps so much with focus.
Yeah, you can keep your stitch or like your row count that you're trying to count out, and yeah, you're not being distracted by the rap music or whatever.
Yeah. Or the kids' noise.
Yeah. I always make sure I do this if like I'm out and about, if I am like at the gym working, or if you're ever at a coffee shop or anything like that, make sure that you have your sound canceling headphones on. It's not bad to be social. I'm not saying don't be social, but like people don't really come up and talk to you when you have these headphones on. So if I have a really big deadline and it's crunch time, like they're not going to come up and talk to me. So
yeah, it's a good way to say I'm focusing.
Right.
Leave me
Don't
alone.
interrupt how many counts I have right now.
Right. Oh yeah, sometimes my husband will try to talk to me while I am counting stitches, and it's like on a garment, so it's like 100+ stitches, and I'm like, he'll try to have a conversation with me, and I'm just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Count
7.
louder.
Like I'll answer you in a minute, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Exactly. Yeah.
And another thing that I do is I can't do this anymore. Hopefully soon, but I will go to Starbucks. That's kind of like my place for focusing.
Right.
Like finding that place in your house or finding another location to kind of, I don't know why I get more work done when I go to Starbucks, but it's something about like not being around my daily distractions that it changes everything.
Yes, I feel ya. Yeah.
My productivity goes way up compared to being at home.
Yeah.
So what is the 5th tip that you had for everyone?
Yeah, so my 5th and last tip is to allow your kids to help you with your crochet business. I grew up with my parents who owned a business, and I have fond memories of helping them put the stamps on and the labels on, and like and it taught me a lot. It taught me good work ethic and to try my best at things, and I was able to earn money and learn money management that way. So I try to find ways for my kids to do that too. When they were really young, they would help me package up my orders. They would put their finger on the yarn so I could make the bow on the package, or, putting the labels on, taking it to the mailbox or wherever. So when they were young, they would do things like that for me. Nowadays, my 5-year-old, his job is to push the button, the remote control button, when I'm taking a picture.
Oh,
so
that's
he's
so
very
cute.
proud of, like, yeah, I took that picture. And like with most things with kids, like, it would be faster if I did it myself, but it's a way that I'm able to couple time and, spend time with my kids and still be productive with business, and try to teach them those skills that are good. I always joke that my letter board that I use, so my kids are the ones that put the letters in, and I always joke, like, you're learning how to read and recognize your letter. This is good for you. So just try to find ways to involve your kids so that they can feel proud about it as well.
Yeah, and like I love the idea of using it as a learning opportunity too. Because that was something that my mom, I was homeschooled for all my schooling, and my mom would use baking as something to teach us math. Like, oh yeah, I've been baking since I was probably 7 or younger, because that was something that was a way of like, oh yeah, you can learn while also making something yummy. And that was like those memories of doing that, like, that's one reason why I love doing baking so much. Like, I've stuck with it my whole life. So you never know when you can convince your kids to like crochet.
Right. It's true. Yeah, maybe my 5-year-old will become a photographer or something, since he does the remote clicking.
And I'll be like, wait, I can't just click, and
wait, there's more.
There's more. Do you have any other, besides those 5 tips, are there any other things, like experiences you've had of like learning of how to manage all of this with having kids? Because I'm sure it's a daily learning experience.
Yeah. So I often get asked, like, how are you able to do it all? How can you have a business and still raise your kids? How can you balance all of this? And I say to them, like, one of my favorite parts of crochet is how portable it is. I can take it to the park, and my kids can play on the park, and I can sit there on the side and crochet. Or, we can go to the pool. My kids at this point, they're old enough that they can swim. My 2-year-old, she has a floaty, but she's able to swim. So, like, I'm able to go do fun things with them still, but crochet is portable enough. So I try to save those projects for those activities with my kids when we're out and about.
Yeah. And if you're busy, you can also do that. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Using any moment.
Sometime at the movie theater before it starts, or, wherever. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. I take my crochet pretty much everywhere. I've got at least some form of crochet project with me, which sometimes I've got to set those aside and not work on anything. But it's really nice that it's not something like, oh, you always need a computer in front of you.
Right. Or like a sewing machine, or, it's not clunky. You can just throw it in a purse and go. Yeah.
Oh, it's so nice. I think it's such a great, I think it is such a great business to have as a busy person or as a mom, just because, like, you can work on it when you can, and it will still grow, it will still work, and it's so adaptable. Like, you can stop in the middle of a row and crochet, like, set it down.
You don't have to pull out the big sewing machine and, like, get the workspace, you can just, time to crochet, pick it up from the couch, do a little bit.
Let me finish this row. Like, I do that with blankets, like, I can fit this in right now.
Yeah.
I can do this, which I can't necessarily carry blankets around everywhere because I need, like, my big basket. I've got a big giant project basket that I'll carry around. But yeah, I think that's a great tip. So we're almost done with our time together. Are there any last tips or encouragement that you have for moms or people who are just kind of wanting to know how to manage things in their busy life?
Yeah, I don't get overwhelmed. It's very easy to compare yourself or to feel overwhelmed or to have mom guilt, and just try to push those things aside and we're all just doing our best. And don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it, whether that's with a friend, or your partner, or even your kids. I ask my kids, like, okay, mommy has a really busy day today. My 7-year-old will say, like, can you help me do this today? And he likes being able to help me out. So, and it's good for him to learn responsibility as well. So just don't get overwhelmed with it. Take one step at a time, and you'll be surprised at how far you've come when you look back.
Oh, yeah. I know that I struggle with getting overwhelmed a lot, and just having to remind myself, like, everyone's journey is different. Everyone's point to get to where they are is different, and it's okay if it takes longer. Like, it doesn't mean that you're any less talented. That doesn't mean any less of a business owner.
Yeah.
It's just it's okay to just use whatever time you have. And even if that's just a little bit every day or a little bit a couple times a week, like, that's okay. It'll still be around.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Rachel. I think these tips are really going to help people. Just give them a little bit burst of encouragement, especially right now when everything just feels overwhelming.
Yes. Weird times we're living in.
Weird times. I hope that they change soon, but we'll see. Well, everyone be sure to check out Rachel's blog, her patterns, and her Instagram. I will have everything in the description box below, so you can check out her stuff. She also does a lot of color work like I do, and it's super fun. We both try to convince people to do it more. So
yeah, exactly. Good way to go.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Rachel, and sharing all of your knowledge with us. It was great to have you.
Well, thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun. So I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
I'm so glad. It was great having you on here. And we will see you on Instagram. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like it below if you enjoyed watching it, and hit the subscribe button if you never want to miss out a video from me, and also check out my other videos and tutorials on my channel. See you next time.